Hello, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, October 30th, 2024, and I am here in Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, not that far from Laguna Mountain Recreation Area, and I am parked here right outside the Lucky 5 Ranch. So what I'm going to plan on doing is taking the Sunrise Trail up a little ways, and then I'm planning on breaking off trail to try to see if I can find a route to get up there. Up there is a peak bagger summit, peak 5444. So I'm going to try to see if I can make a good way to get up there. And most of my hike's going to be within Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. And yes, I'm technically in the Laguna Mountains, and this is not desert, this is chaparral out here. But my plan is to see if I can work a route, find a way to get up there, and see if I can find a way through the chaparral. It's definitely going to require some off-trail hiking today. I'm going to try to see if I can navigate it. So yes, we are on the part of the western edge of Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. Over towards that way is Cleveland National Forest. Let's see if I can navigate my way up to peak 5444 today. Should be interesting. I think the first challenge of mine is to be where I'm going to leave the trail. That's going to be my first challenge, is where I'm going to leave the trail. And the chaparral looks pretty decent up there, pretty decently thick, so this could require some bushwhacking. Most likely will. I've read some trip reports within the last decade. Things can change quickly in a year, but most people, trip reports I've read mostly just required wading through brush. I'm going to see if that's going to be the case. Following these switchbacks, make my way up the hill. There's Sunrise Highway right there, in fact. Sunrise Highway, going towards Laguna Mountain Recreation Area. This way leads you to Highway 79 and Cuyamaca Rancho State Park, once you get on 79. Over there are the higher parts of the lagunas. So we'll see. We'll see how this works out for me today. Should be an interesting day. Alright, I'll see you up the way with more updates. Alright, so working my way around, trying to keep an eye on where I'm going to leave the trail. Now, as I've said, I've read in the trip reports about there being a lightly brushy way up. However, so far what I'm looking at is pretty decent sized chaparral shrubs that are going to make this quite a feat. So as of now, I'm terming this an attempt until further notice. I'd love to get up there, but if the bushwhacking becomes too insane, then this might be more of an attempt video than an actual summiting video. But like I said, I'm not planning on failing, but I'm also keeping in mind that I'm also going to be careful. I don't want to get tangled up in all the shrubs. So maybe if I come around to a certain side, maybe I'll find a thinner area of chaparral. Somewhere around here might be doable. But now I gotta look to see where I'm gonna leave the trail. I think my trail departure is going to be coming up soon. And I got to actually find where the peak is. So this is kind of an exploratory video for me as well. It's just A, knowing where I'm going to leave the trail, and B, finding the actual peak, if I can make it all the way up there. So I'm going to follow around the side of this for a few minutes and see what I can manage to accomplish. Hopefully, knowing that this area is very well populated with chaparral shrubs, the soil won't be overtly slippery as it is on barer soils. I got some good views from here too. I should have some good views on this hike. If I make it to the peak, the views I assume are going to be pretty outstanding. I think it's one of the highest peaks in the general vicinity. So I'm just going to keep looking around for not a use trail. I don't think there's any trail at all. But I'm going to look for an area where I can start ambling up the hillside, see what looks better, and I'll keep you posted. Alright, so I'm thinking I'm going to start leaving the trail somewhere around here. So what I did is I came down from the highway on the other side of that knoll, came through that little pass right there. Now I'm going to try to start looking for a way to start going uphill. I don't even know where the peak is from here. Maybe I should go back a little bit. Probably should have planned this out a little bit better. But at least I know I'm near Sunrise Highway in case I decide to bail out. So maybe what I'll do is I'll leave the trail here. Maybe start scrambling up here a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, this is gonna be a bushwhack, I think, more than a wade. But let's see. All right. Hoping this is gonna work out in the end. Definitely gonna be scrambling. This is definitely gonna be boulders to scramble around too. Haven't read anything about any really hardcore scrambles, but we'll see as I start my way to try to find my way up to peak 5444. Let's see how this works out. All right, I'm gonna have to switch batteries soon. We'll see as I amble my way up. Wish me luck. By the time you see this video, whatever happens will have happened. Whatever happens on the video will have happened, but I'm wishing myself luck right now. All right, keep you posted on my progress as I climb up this hillside. All right, so far so good. I'm making some progress up this hill. I'm actually using some of these rockier areas as navigational aids to get me around the brush. So far it's hip or waist high. So far this is totally doable. I don't know if it's going to last for the whole hike, but so far so good. Really having fun working up these peaks. I love these random peaks here in the lagunas. These are so awesome. I do love cross-country hiking, as you've probably seen in several of my previous videos. Now, I think, as of right now, my biggest challenge is finding where the peak is located. So I'm gonna have to probably get to the ridge line and just keep following it till it tops out, unless I come across some impenetrable brush on the way there. From what I heard, there's supposed to be a a mild scramble at the top, so I don't think anything too insane as at this point. But let's hope that the brush at the ridge line is not impenetrable. Sometimes along ridge lines, brush can get pretty gnarly. But I'll worry about that when I get over towards that section. There is some scrambling along the way. Nothing that severe at all, to be honest. But you will scramble some rocks. There'll be some small class 2 pushes here and there. Just be prepared for that. If you're thinking about trying a peak like this. Got some hollyleaf redberry up here. Reminiscent licifolia. I finally recorded a spotlight on this video last week in Ventura County. Finally. I haven't, as of, hopefully, yeah, it should be up by now. Last week I was on vacation. I did several videos, and I still have 2 plant videos to upload, 2 spotlight videos. One of them's on a plant I've only seen for the first time. And one I recorded here on, finally got a spotlight on hollyleaf redberry. So, be on the lookout for that. That should be up before this video's up. But as of the time of me hiking this, still have to edit it and put it on my channel. So, be on the lookout for it. It should be out by the time this video is up. Alright, so scrambling over some boulders. Let's get through a little kind of gnarly little section here. So I guess I'm kind of taking a somewhat diagonal approach, not a really direct approach. So when I came to that point, that's where I felt, you know what, maybe leaving the trail here would be good. Because I'm up in elevation a little bit from where I started. So it might mean maybe less elevation gain on the way there. It's kind of what I was intending to accomplish with that move. Probably could have started up earlier, but I might have actually put me further away from the peak. But we'll see. We'll see. So far, so good. Let's hope that the good keeps on going. See you along the way up this. As usual, when you're doing these off-trail hikes, pick your route carefully. See, got myself wedged up. Tall, thick brush around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a class 3 rock scramble here. Try to get over this. Hopefully on the other side, I'll just be able to move on into the brush again. So I'm going to just scramble up this crack here. Try to get to the other side up there. And see. So always choose your routes carefully. But sometimes no matter what you do, sometimes you'll find a spot where it's going to get gnarly. Alright, I'm going to have to use both hands, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this and tell you when I get over there. So what I did is try to wedge myself up, try to get my knee and my butt on this rock, and I was able to push myself up because for a few seconds, my legs were dangling, and used my upper body strength to push me up. It's kind of an awkward class 3 crack right there, and plus me having relatively short legs because I'm not a very tall man, kind of made it a little harder, but got up it without any incident. Pretty cool. All right. If you got longer legs, you'll probably have an easier time. All right. So now, I don't know if I should try to go directly that way or go to here to the ridge line and just try to follow it uphill. See some much higher ground over there. So I'm going to see if I can go diagonally even more. I was looking at my landmarks, so I should be able to get a pretty good mark on where I like the trail. Now, the route going up this on my map is going to be very approximate because it's not going to take into account all these little twists and turns. So this is just going to be a very approximate route, and it might not be the best route for some people. Some people, it was a much easier route that I could have taken from a different direction. But so far, it's working out pretty well. I'm not complaining. Pretty happy. And I got a little practice rock scrambling out of it, so it's not something I do a whole lot of, more than class 2, but I could use the practice with class 3 scrambling, so maybe it was a good thing I took this way. Right now, I'm just going to make my way up towards that way and keep you updated. I'm going to try to go to that rocky knoll right there and see what happens when I get up there towards that area. So I'll keep you posted, and see you up the way. All right, well, with all my hikes comes the element of botany. Well, I'll point out a few of these other shrubs later on, but found some creeping sage, some Salvia sonomensis. Here we go. Creeping sage up here. Just gently rub a leaf. Oh, the fragrance is so nice and minty. Yeah, we got creeping sage up here. First time I've ever seen it in Laguna Mountains. I've seen it here in San Diego County a good few times now. The Ahas Mountain, Watai Mountain, and even near Hapasha Peak along Cuyamaca Peak's ridge. I've seen some of that plant here as well. So yeah, we got creeping sage here. It's pretty cool. Most of the vegetation is your typical Laguna Mountain chaparral. Eastwood manzanita, pinkback manzanita, cupleaf ceanothus, common chamise, scrub oaks, occasional silk tassels, and parish blue curls. But I'll be pointing out some more of those once I get over towards the higher ramparts of this. But so far, I'm able to make my way around all of this quite decently as well, and get up this mountain with just moderate difficulty. Not even that bad. It's not bad at all. A few spots where the brush slows you down, but this has been absolutely a delight to get up here. Now, like I said, one of the big things is finding where the summit's going to be. That's where I'm going to have to really look out. I'm assuming this is one of those single point summits. I'm assuming. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, this is great. Weather's perfect today too. It's only in the 50s right now. So I'm sweating, but it's only because I'm exerting. But, oh, here we go. Interior live oak too. Shrub interior live oak is up here. Quercus wislezenii ready for tessins. So that's another plant we can add to this. All right, well, in order to keep this from being a 2-hour video, I'm going to go ahead and power down and climb up as I make it towards this boulder area, and we'll see what kind of navigation is required to get around this. All right, so I'm edging closer and closer to the ridge line. Now it's starting to thicken up a little bit. The chaparral's starting to thicken up, so I guess with this route that I took, This might require some bushwhacking now, or more bushwhacking. Now we're coming up some shrubby canyon live oaks, coming up on some of these right now. Quercus chrysolipus, predominantly shrubby around here. So I'm going to try to see if I can weave around the manzanitas over here. Ooh. All right. So far, I think my eyes are playing tricks on me, and that might happen to you too. If you're hiking up here and you're looking up at this, you're thinking, wow, chaparral gets really tall. Well, one thing to keep in mind is that it might in spots, but so far it's been an optical illusion. So you're looking up the hill, so things are higher up than you are. So it may appear it's just the slope aspect likely playing tricks on you. Because I'm looking at this and thinking the same thing. Look at this thing, it looks thick over here. So far, the further up I go, it relatively doesn't change in relative thickness too much, at least as of right now. Alright. So, near the ridgeline, I have no idea how close to the summit I am. No idea. No idea, to be honest with you. I've climbed up quite a ways, and I'm just about at the ridgeline. So I'm elevation gain wise, I'm more than halfway there. Come up a few hundred feet already. I'm trying to remember what the elevation is at the trailhead. Sit down there. That's one of the sunrise trailheads. Don't go down that road that way. That's Lucky 5 Ranch. That's off limits. So the trail, so that's the road leading down to Lucky 5. That road leads over towards the mountains over there. That right there, the sunrise trail goes that way, contours along the eastern slope of the hill. And then, I'm not sure how far it goes, but I only took a small portion of it so I can get to a relatively logistical trail departure to get up to the peak. So I'm almost level with that. The peak might be around one of these two bumps along here, and that's just a preliminary guess. So let's see. So far, I'd rate this hike as moderate, only because of some of the aspects of route finding. Physically, it's got a little challenge to it, because you got to amble over boulders, step over bushes, wade, and sometimes even lightly bushwhack. But so far, I've been blessed on this hike. Very blessed, I feel. Get up as far as I have without any real problems. Here's one thing you'll find along here. Parrish gold bush. Erica Maria Parrishi, Freddie Parrishi. Just kind of gently rub a leaf. They do have kind of an aromatic resinous smell, which is very pleasant. Alright, yeah, I'm just about to meet the ridge. I'm going to check out that spot there. That might be the summit, but I'm not sure. So I'll keep you updated when I'm there. All right. So I'm at the ridgeline. Okay. I'm thinking this is going to be it. This is a little lower. This is a little bit lower, I think. So that goes up even more, so I'm just going to go ahead and follow the spine of the ridge. I think I'm coming up on the summit already. All right. Not bad. Pretty short hike to get up here. Like I said, it'll take you much longer than you would on trail, only because you're just trying to route find your way through the shrubs. Make sure you find a path of least resistance. So yeah, I believe that's going to be it. When I get up there, I should have a good idea as to whether I am correct or not. But let me amble over there and keep you posted. First, there's a nice Paris golden bush. Another Ericameria parishii, Friday parishii. These things can get much larger than this. I've seen these things tower way over my head. I've seen these things about 10 feet tall. Pretty tall member of the sunflower family, the Asteraceae. All right, time to weave my way around this and see if this is our peak. Okay, so I'm just about on top of this hill here. I'm gonna take a look around and see if this is indeed the summit. Peak 5444. Yeah, it's higher than that. It's even higher than the rocks over there. So this appears to be where the high point is going to be located. So I am going to poke around and look for the actual summit. Got to look around a little bit actually to see what the deal is over here. Not too sure yet. Hop around this rock real quickly. Okay, let's see. There's a little bit higher stuff over here. Okay, yeah, I'm just about to summit. All right. Ooh, a coast live oak. Quercus agrifolia oxyidania. Pretty high up, pretty high up. Yeah, it's a coast live oak. Right up here. Pretty cool. Okay, so need to... These boulders here. Yes, I'm just about to summit this puppy. Alright, see if I can get around these rocks here. A little class 2 hopping. Alright, so I'm just about at this base of the summit boulders. Let's see, which way should I go? Go poke around here, look for a good way to get around. Trying to minimize the amount of effort. Alright, trying to get to those summit boulders. So actually, where we are now, I think it's just outside the line of Anza-Borrego. The actual summit of this, I believe, is just outside it. Alright, so let's see if I can squeeze through this. Alright. Okay, alright. So we're just about at the summit rocks. Now, which way do I want to go? So I'm going to do a little check. Maybe I can go up this way. Ooh boy, didn't get a good purchase on that. Okay. Alright. Just a quick little class 2. Alright. This is it. Peak 5444. Here, basically on the border of Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. That's looking over towards the ranch property. That's looking down some road. I don't know what road that is. Here I am. Another peak climbed here in the Laguna Mountains here in San Diego County. That's required some effort, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a piece of cake. But it wasn't too bad. Pretty relieved. Alright. So now I'm gonna take my summit selfie. I'm making sure I'm taking it now. And then I'm gonna start some of those rocks there. Yeah. This is all the summit area. Basically summited it anyways. Wow. Oh this was an easy upper class 2, lower class 3. I just ended up going along that up here and just stepped up here. Just one little quick class 3 move. The rest of it was class 2. Pretty easy. So yeah, this is it. Peak 5444. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a summit selfie and start taking some pictures. Alright, forgive the wind noise. Bear with me. Alright, time to start pointing out some views. I'm going to start by looking north. Over there is looking towards Mount San Jacinto. Over there. And then there's San Gorgonio Mountain over there, the San Gorgonio Mountains. Then we got the Vulcan Mountains over here. And as I start edging a little more northwest, we got the long ridge of Palomar Mountain, and the naked eye, you can see the observatory at that dip right there. Then, closer at hand, northwest, we got North Peak right there, the second highest known peak, named peak, in Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. There's Middle Peak, 5,883. And then we got the ridge of Cuyamaca. Zoom back out a little bit. And you see Cherry Flat, which is technically the second highest elevation in Cuyamaca. Technically, it's 6,280 or 6,290 feet. And there's Stonewall Peak underneath it, as we're looking more towards the west. And there's Cuyamaca Peak right there, the second highest point in our county, San Diego County. And then on the south shoulder is Hoppesaw Peak. So I was up there back in June. I tried to get up to Hoppesaw, couldn't make it. It's chaparral's way too thick there for me. But I made it up to Cuyamaca. And then over there, I was looking towards Airplane Ridge. So we're now starting to swing into the southwest. Then off in the distance, we have in the far background Otay Mountain. That peak over there is Lions Peak over by Hamul. Now we're going to swing it around towards the south, and you can see that 2-point peak way off in the distance there. That's Long Valley Peak, just about 4,900 feet. Down there is Lucky Five Ranch. And as we're starting to swing it to the southeast, I can see the higher ramparts of the lagunas. That over there off in the distance is Wooded Hill, one of the higher peaks here in the lagunas. And then I could see over that way, I can see Garnet Peak over there, and then further off, that's Monument Peak as we're looking more southeast. And in that ridge line that juts off from the lagunas, it's called the Sawtooth Mountains. That's the Sawtooth Mountains. But then we have this coming down from Garnet Peak here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. That right there is called the Sawtooth Range. That hill in front of me is peak 4648. One day I'm going to try to see if I can get to that, which means I have to climb over Garnet Peak or start from the desert floor. But yeah, that's peak 4648. That's called the Sawtooth Range. Back there, Sawtooth Mountains. So now we're going to swing it to the east. And you can see the Salton Sea way out there. Salton Sea. To the east-northeast, Whale Peak. I always point this one out when I'm in the lagunas. And I'll keep pointing it out. And I still need to get up there. And with cooler weather approaching, could be time to plan my hike up that. So let's go swing it around to the northeast. I can still see more of the Salton Sea. And then you can see the Santa Rosa Mountains with the Villager and Rabbit Peaks. Yeah, Rabbit Peak is right there. Not this one, behind it. That's Granite Mountain. So I still need to climb here in San Diego County. And then I can see Toro Peak, the high point of the Santa Rosa Mountains. There, 360. So, good view. views up here. I apologize about the wind sound. So that's why I always type and text on the screen. So just gonna find a way to get down from this and start looking at my return route to get back. Alright, time to start trying to route find to get off of this. Alright. Might end up choosing a different descent route. So I'm actually trying to find where, because I came from somewhere over there to get to the top. Now it's time to look at how I'm going to get down. There is a chance, depending on the situation, there's a pretty good chance this might end up being some kind of a narrow loop hike. So now I'm going to start descending, but again, I'm going to have to be paying attention to a good route to get down. I don't end up getting myself caught in some really tall chaparral. It's a little taller over here than it was where I hiked up, but for some reason I didn't see the way I came along the ridge. So let's see what happens. So far this isn't too bad either. My goal is to get down to that trail. That trail snaking its way on that green hill over there, which is more of the chaparral, of course. So that's kind of where I got to get back down to the trail that goes over towards that. But at the very least, this will probably be a balloon loop or something if I end up finding my ascent line. So now, that chaparral is very thick over here. Not as tall, but it's definitely a lot denser. So this is where I'm going to have to really find my P's and Q's as I hop down this mountain. All right, well, keep you posted on my progress. This is a really cool mountain. Really cool mountain. Very cool mountain, actually. It's just, there's no trail to get up here, so you kind of have to pick and choose your own routes, which means probably a lot of moving forward and maybe turning around and reevaluating every so often. I can see, I think that was my ascent line, was somewhere along that, where those rocks are there. I think that's where I did a class 3 scramble. It might have been there or on one of those I did that class 3 scramble to get over it from where I came up. So let's see. See if my descent route will be any easier, any harder. We'll see. I do see some taller shrubs coming up, so I'm just going to go wherever I can. As long as I'm heading downhill and towards Sunrise Highway down below, I should be golden. All right, see you along the way down. All right, just a quick update. Made it mostly down through shin and thigh-high chaparral. So far, so good. I'm having this is slightly more difficult on the descent. The way I'm going, slightly more. It's not horrible, not by any stretch, but maybe a little tougher than my ascent route, but not by much, just slightly noticeable. Totally doable. Like I said, route finding is what you want to be able to do when you're off trail, no matter how short. Because if you're trying to get to a specific destination, sometimes it's not even about getting lost if you know your landmarks, but being able to actually get to where you want to go and get back to where, from whence you started, without getting caught up in tangles of shrubs. I think it's more for hikes like these that are short distance, that are off the highway. But I gotta admit, yeah, this was a pretty cool peak. Really glad I made it up here. So yes, it's definitely a little thicker, less space between the shrubs. So I am kind of scraping up my pants a little bit. I still failed to invest in a pair of jeans. I need to get jeans again, because I do feel some scratching sensations on my legs. Now, I always wear long pants on every hike. Always wear long pants, no matter what, no matter where I am, whether I'm on trail or even off trail, even if I'm just on trail. You never know. Plus, longer pants are a better bet on any hike. So if you're hiking this, make sure you wear long pants, maybe even gaiters. So gaiters or really tough jeans, or maybe even shin guards. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna get cut up really badly. It's just poking my skin a little bit here and there. It's just mild discomfort, but otherwise, yeah, it's been a pretty cool hike. Glad I made it to another random peak here. See, that's another thing too. A loose rock. That has not been an issue for me up until now. That has not been an issue. Just so you know, I haven't had that issue. And I was scrambling up and down over boulders. A class 3 one, several class 2 boulders. And I had no issue. Now, sometimes these smaller rocks, you have to kind of watch where you're stepping. So just be careful. They can come loose. All right. So, just got to see where my trail is, and I'll keep you posted on my progress down this hill. Just a few steps down from where I last filmed. Found an interesting rock over here. So, if you're coming down the way I come down, almost directly from the summit, maybe at a slight, heading roughly northeast right now. So if you're heading northeast from the summit, you come across this chair-like rock. It's not extremely comfortable, but well, my backpack's on me. But a little place to sit and enjoy the view. Okay, so I didn't point this one out earlier. I forgot to for some dumb reason. But that's looking towards right there. It's Oriflame Mountain, 4,800 plus. That's a peak I definitely would like to invest in hiking one day, which is going to require going downhill for at least a good few hundred feet, and then climbing up towards it, so you have a nice uphill climb on the way back. But you take that road, you'd start out on that road, I believe, right there. I think I've never done Oriflame Mountain yet, but yeah, that could be a future video. There's another peak. I think that pointy one there, I think that's Roost Benchmark. I think that's on Peak Bagger. I think that's what that is there. That's another small summit along the way. And I think Oriflame's got a couple of named summits. That might be another summit of Oriflame too, but I'm not sure. All right, let me get down this denser chaparral now and keep you posted on the way back. All right, so I'll point out a couple shrubs here at a time as I'm descending. Still descending, still aiming for the trail down there. Still probably a good few hundred yards out. But so what do we have growing up here? I mentioned names on the way up about what the typical chaparral species here in the lagunas are when I was talking about the creeping sage that I found on the way up. But here we go, holly leaf cherry, Prunus ilicifolia subspecies ilicifolia. Growing up here. occasional specimens of it. Not super common in this general vicinity. And of course, this is abundant here. This is cup-leaf Ceanothus perplexans. Cup-leaf, because of the cupped upward profile of the leaves, cupped up at the leaf midrib vein. And of course, our Southern California, or California favorite, common chamise, Adenostoma fasciculatum, variety fasciculatum. You should not be surprised to see that. There's a lot of chamise growing along here. And then I'll point out more as I come across more. As I'm starting to wade through upper hip-sized shrubs. And I will see you on the way down. Alright, what do we have here? Trying to see if this is an acutidens or a Mueller scrub oak. I think what we have here is just Quercus acutidens. Well, not just, but yeah, we got Quercus acutidens right here. Torrey's hybrid scrub oak, which is found here along with Mueller scrub oak, which is one of the parents of Torrey's hybrid scrub oak, actually. So we got Quercus acutidens. I don't think I've seen any anything that made me think this is definitely Mueller oak, because Quercus acutidens, being a hybrid offspring of Mueller scrub oak, can resemble it. Oh, okay, so what we got going on here? Alright. Let's see. This is where route finding is what is needed. So I'm actually starting to enter a gully. So if I follow this gully, I might be able to intercept the trail. But yeah, the chaparral is definitely thicker since we're in a canyon bowl. So what I need to do is find a way to scramble down these rocks. Well, I don't have to. Let's see. Actually, I can minimize the amount of scrambling. Scrambling uphill, to me, is much simpler than scrambling downhill. Scrambling downhill, that's the part that I'm not a fan of doing. Scrambling uphill, class 2 to easy, class 3, no big deal. I've done it, did some today. But when we're getting up towards class 4, yeah, or extremely steep class 3 downhills, that's where your boy is not feeling it. Alright, so I can probably, ooh, a little loose over here. I'm just gonna work my way around. Let's see. This is where picking your routes carefully is important. Okay, I see an open patch over here. I just got to get over this granite slab. Let's see if I can do that. Sometimes granite slabs can be deceptively slick. This isn't super slick. Actually, not too bad. My hiking shoes are relatively new, so I finally retired the old ones I've been using for a few years. Alright, let's see. See, this is a little small gully right here. Just trying to see if I can maybe work my way around it. Maybe I'll just take the gully down. Maybe I could take the gully down. Yep, looks like Brian's about to enter a gully. All right, let me figure this out. Keep you posted. Gotta catch my breath for a second here. So this is the small rocky section I bypassed coming down. I could have probably gotten down this pretty easy class 3. Probably. So now, I'm actually entering the gully right now as I speak. Now, time to scramble around, work my way down. There'll definitely be some more rock scrambling in this one. So, Oh yeah, that's definitely, yeah, that's a pretty good rocky section here. Yeah, I could have probably scrambled down that not too difficultly. This right here looks like a little trickier. Ooh, look at that massive chaparral yucca grows that right there. It's another plant that grows here very commonly, especially here in the chaparral. And my knee was inches away from that one. Pretty cool looking plant. It's a plant that'll jab you pretty badly. All right, so looks like the adventure on the way down is just as poignant as on the adventure on the way up. Yeah, this is what I avoided here. I don't know if they call this a chalkstone. I'm not sure if that's what they call that. I've heard that term being used, but I'm not sure if that qualifies. Rocks that sometimes are lined up in the gullies. Alright. Actually, the gully here seems to be a little trickier than the slope, but could possibly aim down there. So it definitely looks like there's going to be a little more scrambling on my descent route. So I'll keep you posted on how much rock scrambling I actually have to do. Like right here, gotta bust a little quick class 2 right around that. Yeah, well, this is going to be interesting. This just looks like it just leveled up my adventure. It's not just a simple out and back. This is kind of a loop down the slope of this. Yeah, this is where I've been coming down. Kind of side hill in the gully in spots, and then sometimes entering it. Just surveying the terrain. That is beautiful out here. This is really cool. Another romp in the chaparral. You can't beat romps like this. If you like going off trail and finding your own adventure, yeah, a little rock scrambling, off trail hiking, yeah, pretty cool. All right, keep you posted. Yeah, I think these are white flowered currants. I've been seeing a lot of these. They're starting to leaf out now, going in the end of October. I'd expect these to start leafing out after the rains start, because these are summer deciduous. Surprised they're starting to leaf out now, because we haven't had any appreciable rain in a long time up here. So, kind of surprised a little bit. But hey, it's pretty neat. But okay, now I gotta find how I want to get down this one. So, I'll see you on the next clip. Alright, so now I'm kind of out of the gully now. I'm going to have to climb these rocks to survey. Distance-wise, I'm probably only about 50 yards from the trail. However, the thing is now the chaparral's getting really thick. So this is actually going to probably turn into a full throttle bushwhack. So I'm going to have to reassess my descent. So I got down to this point. The rock band is up there somewhere that I descended, or I side hilled it. But now the chaparral is getting much thicker. I have to really choose my route. So if I keep going down the gully right there, then it's going to be up at least up to my head. It's much thicker over there. We are starting to transition into a minor bushwhack right now as we speak, or as I speak. So I'm going to try to avoid that and see if I can angle through this over here. See, now it's nearly shoulder high. Here's another plant. Sugar bush, rusovata. Find a few specimens of that growing up here too. Okay, so yeah. See, now we're transitioning into a bushwhack. probably should have tried to be more persistent. Well then, if I had done that, been more persistent to find an area closer to my scent route, I wouldn't have had this cool little gully adventure that I just had. So sometimes things happen for a reason. All right, here's another sugar bush right here. Try to get around it. Now we're definitely in a bushwhack now. So if you go up the way I did, you'll have mostly light brush wading. If you go down the way I'm going down, it might turn into a bushwhack. I think I see the trail over there somewhere, I think. Yeah, I should be at the trail pretty soon. I can see a little rock line there. Yeah, so I should be back at the trail in a couple minutes. All right. So, yeah, this is going to end up being a kind of a narrow loop hike. Up one way, down a slightly different way. Yeah, so I had to get out of that gully. It was going to turn out to be a full throttle bushwhack. There were some much taller chaparral shrubs over there. All right. Yeah, the trail's just down there. I just need to push through another 20, 30 yards of chaparral, and I should be there very soon. So my line of descent will take me down to that little grassy patch down there. I'm just also making a mental note of that for my hiking map. Yeah, it came from all the way up there. Cross country, off trail. The cross country part of this hike is going to be done pretty soon. I'm kind of relieved. Now I kind of want to get back on trail. All right. Let's see. Yeah. All right, we do have a few more obstacles that separate me from the trail. So I'm going to have to hop over some rocks here, it looks like. Okay. Now I got to descend. Probably got to bushwhack through some of this stuff over here. Yeah, I'm going to have some bushwhacking over here. Unavoidable now. Oh boy, I'm so close to the trail, yet I feel like I'm miles away. Okay, almost there. Just a few feet of chaparral separate me from being back on the trail. Okay, all right. Yes. Okay. One small little rock scramble here, I think. Yeah, I'm going to have to go around this a little bit. So I'm going to hop over this. I'm going to twist my way around, grab onto the manzanita for some leverage. And, all right. Here I am. Back on the Sunrise Trail. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. That was not an easy descent. It was much harder than the ascent. So that's from our little grassy section there. So I'm going to go ahead and head along this. I don't think it'll be that much longer before I'm back, but my descent line basically came down from that way and around that thicket of shrubs, kind of around this way, and yeah, kind of walking around the brush. All right, I'm gonna get a couple pictures and see you on the way down. All right, so now it's basically just trail all the way back. I wonder kind of curious about going up to this little knoll here. So I just went through a small little pass right here between Peak 5444, and we got this little knoll here too. So I'm kind of curious. I was thinking about maybe going up this just for a little extra spice, just to add a little flavor to my adventure. I've already added some flavor on that descent. That should be a pretty easy. This should be pretty easy getting up this. Just wading through Ceanothus. Just gonna climb up this small knoll. Not much prominence on this one, but just a little bonus flavor to spice my day up a little bit. All right. Almost at the top of this knoll already. Very short walk up this. Maybe I can get a good perspective of what I was looking at earlier. Very short walk up this knoll. Very easy walking. Easy to get up here. Very easy. So here's the other side of that little pass. Maybe came up about 30, 40 feet, if even that. Cool little meadow down there. And on that side, it's kind of partially hidden, but there's a big rock slab. So I'm using that as a point of reference. So I would say I probably started going up somewhere about over there. That's roughly about where I left the trail to start going up. Roughly around there. I think just before the fold of the mountain. And so I ended up going roughly up about that way, gained the ridge. I think I gained it somewhere about up there, towards that notch. Because I remember there's a big pile of boulders that was to my right when I got to the ridge. Had to make sure that that wasn't the summit, but then I saw how much higher the terrain was over here, so I ended up going up there. The peak is probably out of view from here, but it's up that way. So when I came down, I ended up, let's see if I can see where my landmarks are. I basically kind of came down this way, roughly this way down the slope. Ended up in that small gully right there. Somewhere in that gully, and kind of partially side hilled it and partially went through it. So roughly came down to somewhere about over there. Roughly about where I came down. Somewhere about there, I believe. Trying to see if I could find that one rock band I was admiring that I side hilled. I don't even know if I can see it from here. I don't even know if I could see it from here. I should be able to, because that's the route I came down. It wasn't that. It was maybe a little bit up. I think it was more than halfway down the descent, though. All right, so here I am on this small knoll here. I am going to take a small summit selfie, because I am on top of another hill. So, all right, time to take a quick summit selfie. I'm also trying to think if I came down that gully instead. I'm not sure. Not sure now. Very short walk. Might have actually, I think I might have come down that side there. I think I remember that thicket of interior live oak right there in the center. So I think I actually came down that one. I think I came down that way. Yeah. So I don't think I came down this way. I think I might have come down this way. Because I think I remember that large thicket over there. I think I remember passing that. It was on my right when I was coming down, I believe. So I think that's where I came down. And I can see a little rock retaining wall there. So yeah, that's where I think that's where I came down right there, actually. I think that's where I descended. So, all right. Time to start getting ready to head down. before I want to head down, I got some better views of some other mountains that I really didn't get a good view of on the top because the higher mountains behind it loomed up above them pretty well. So, as I'm looking over towards the northeast, get a good view. Of course, I saw Toro Peak over there, but below it is the ridge line of the San Isidro Mountains. And that right there, that high point right there, that's San Isidro Mountain itself at 6,147 feet. Second highest point here in Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. And that's where I am again. I'm in Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, technically. And then, to the west, that's Hot Springs Mountain over there. That over there, not the one behind it, which is San Jacinto. That there is the highest point in San Diego County at 6,535 feet. So yeah, I just had to get some more views from this cool little knoll. And then there's the gate, and that's the road heading over towards there. That mountain in the front, which is Oriflame Mountain. So I'll probably end up trying to do a hike to that. I think it's about at least a 5 to 10 mile hike. So I'll probably start that earlier in the day. So now I'm just going to go ahead and return the way I came back to the Sunrise Trail, and it's just regular trail walking back to the car. I think I found that rock band. I'm still going back to the trail. I think I found the rock band that I bypassed, the one I stopped to admire. That looked like I could have climbed down it with just some easy, mild class 3. I think, let me see. I think that's it right there, the tip of my finger's pointing. I think that's the rock band. Not that, but the one above it. Yeah, I think that might have been the rock band I went around. Yeah. Yeah, right to the next where that dark patch is, there's a rock band. I think that's the rock band that I was admiring. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my descent route right there. Okay, I'll see you back at the trail. All right, back on the Sunrise Trail. It's trail the rest of the way back. No more side trips. So yeah, cool little knoll. Easy wade to get to the top. Easy wade. Easy chaparral wading to get on the way down. Very little effort required. Another one of those little meadows. I can see where the fence is for the private property. Yeah, Mount Laguna. Mount Laguna has definitely got a lot of cool places you can do off-trail hiking. Really have an adventure without even getting far away from the roads. Because what helps is a lot of the chaparral, a lot of it is pretty low growing. And a lot of that low growth allows for easier cross-country hiking other than full thrashing and bushwhacking like chaparral often requires. Sometimes, in my opinion, it's impassable. And that's one thing I won't do is go through impassable chaparral, or what I think is impassable, I won't try to push it too hard. Because then I can really get scraped up pretty fiercely. Yeah, it's a pretty cool valley. Down there for the Lucky 5 ranches. We're doing some oaks and pines. It looks like Coast live oaks down there and Jeffrey pines. Pretty cool. Yeah. Whoever owns that ranch got some pretty beautiful property. I even see, when I was up higher up looking down, I could actually see ponds. There's, I think, some stock ponds or something towards the back edge, the southern edge of that meadow. I think there were some ponds. When I was up there on the peak, I was kind of looking around, and I saw water. So I think there's some ponds over there, probably for the cattle and stuff. Yeah, I love coming across those, because sometimes, if you ever come across one that's not on private property, you never know what you could find there. Like I said, I don't advise going into private property to inspect them. Be good and stay where you're supposed to be. But if you ever come across some of those ponds on public land, because sometimes they'll have cattle grazing out here in the out in the national forest. This is state park land. I don't think it's allowed, but or come across that in national forest land. You never know what you might find. Stock ponds, those little wallow ponds, might have reptiles and amphibians. So you might see garter snakes, you might see western toads or chorus frogs, maybe spadefoot toads. You never know, they might use that. Because last time I hiked up Waterman Mountain, that was just a month before the Bobcat fire back in 2020, I came across a ski resort pond on Waterman. A ski resort pond that had thousands of tadpoles and juvenile western toads. That was one of the most insanely awesome finds. So if you're ever hiking in a ski area and you see a reservoir, check it out. Just be careful not to disturb what's in it if there's anything in it. You might find frogs or toads and stuff. Really cool. All right, I'm just about to finish my descent with a little slight uphill here. Nothing bad. Just about to reach back at the car. Yeah, pretty cool mountain. Feel blessed. I was able to get up there and get down safely and be able to enjoy the majestic beauty of the boulders up there, the beautiful chaparral, a really cool peak up there. If you're an experienced hiker who's used to doing off-trail hiking and rock scrambling, you don't mind going off-trail, you really look around, you'll find a way up there. If you're not that experienced and you really don't have route finding skills, unfortunately I can't recommend that yet until you've built up your skill level. But yeah, it's been a lovely little hike out here at the western edge of Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. First time hiking in Anza-Borrego since January. Hopefully more adventures from Anza-Borrego are going to be upcoming in the next few months while the weather is cooling down. I'm really hoping for that. I would love to bring you some grand mountain climbs. I want to get up to there, Granite Mountain one day. Let's get up to Whale Peak, get up to San Isidro Mountain. Combs Peak too would be another great one. Combs Peak is the highest point in Anza-Borrego. It's almost 6,200 feet, 6,193. Well, this is gonna about do it for me. Back at the trailhead. Yeah, so that's a state park signing. So when you see signs like that, that's usually a state park sign. I've seen signs like this at Palomar, Cuyamaca, and over here at Anza-Borrego. Like a lot of the hiking I've done at Anza-Borrego has been off trail, including today to a degree. All right, well, thanks for watching my adventure. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me off trail, ambling and scrambling up to peak 5444. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next hike.